Oscar De La Hoya, the 1992 Olympic gold medalist, 6-weight division, 3-weight lineal, 2-weight unified, and 11-time world champion. De La Hoya was known by the public as a soft-spoken, charismatic pretty boy, but to boxing fans, he was a legendary champion that fought every top fighter of his time from Chavez, Whitaker, Trinidad, and Mosley, just to name a few. In short, he brought a golden era to boxing during the late 90s and early 2000s that rivaled that of the Four Kings in the 80s. The Golden Boy started his career at super featherweight and managed to carry his unbelievable skill and talent all the way up to middleweight. De La Hoya was known for being a naturally left-handed dominant orthodox fighter. As a result, De La Hoya's lead hand was incredibly versatile. He would often use probes and pins to turn and control his opponent's positioning that made transitioning from defense to offense and vice versa far more successful. He would also use the long guard to create punch traffic to help tangle his opponent's punches and control distance. But the biggest benefit to being naturally left-handed was that he possessed a fast, powerful, and technically sound jab. He effectively used every type of jab from up jabs, pawing jabs, but his signature was his stiff and accurate jab off the back foot. Most fighters often throw the jab in order to set up their backhand. However, for De La Hoya, his best punch was his lead left hook. Before Inoue and Donaire, Oscar De La Hoya had one of the best lead hand hooks in all of boxing. He set it up mainly by probing with the jab to maintain distance, or by throwing an explosive 2-3 or cross hook combination to load up the hook, making it far more powerful. Against southpaws, De La Hoya would occasionally change that cross to an uppercut to drop the hands and create an opening. And since his power hand was his left, it was far more lethal than his backhand. Although not a prolific counterpuncher, De La Hoya was good at parry counters using the backhand to anticipate the punch and redirect his opponent's glove while using his lead hand to land an accurate jab. Additionally, De La Hoya utilized step-back counters while flicking out a throwaway jab in order to bait out his opponent's counters in order to set up a vicious step-back lead left hook. On top of that, De La Hoya had an elite feint game. He was excellent at baiting out his opponent's intentions through the use of jab and foot feints, level changes, and pre-slips to disguise the jab and set up his power punches. Staying mentally sharp with De La Hoya's constant with effective pressure to complement his non-stop movement was a damn near impossible task. When De La Hoya would close the distance, opponents would be on the receiving end from one of boxing's best combination punchers. De La Hoya had vastly underrated defensive responsibility. He typically fought out of an active high guard that he used to catch, block, and parry punches coming in, combined with a good step back game that made it very difficult for opponents to land any more than 1 or 2 punches at a time. Even if opponents did manage to close distance, De La Hoya had no issues clinching in order to end inside exchanges. Furthermore, before showmen like Jaron Ennis or Canelo Alvarez, De La Hoya could be very flashy as he also possessed great upper torso movement to slip, pull, and duck in order to evade punches. Although I already mentioned how De La Hoya used pins and lead hand control from mid-range, he also used other various methods of guard manipulation such as frames, head control to effectively create openings, and spacing to set up his lightning fast combinations that brought excitement and ferocity that resembled that of the great Sugar Ray Leonard. To many young boxing fans who only saw De La Hoya fight Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao in the final stages of his career, you probably assumed that De La Hoya was simply a flat-footed pressure fighter who was often too slow to pull the trigger on his punches unless he had an opponent against the ropes. However, if you watch Oscar in his prime, you would know that couldn't be further from the truth. When De La Hoya chose to, he could fight in any direction. He boxed forward, backward, and laterally. When new school fans and casuals describe as running, aficionados and coaches call lateral movement or disengaging to effectively reset and find new positioning. De La Hoya was a heavy practitioner of this and would often frustrate his opponents in having to chase him, being unable to set their feet to land effective power punches. It would be criminal to talk about De La Hoya's skill set without mentioning his willingness to stand and bang. I already stated that Oscar could box and move for the majority if he chose to, However, when the time called for him to show grit and dog it out, his defense became his offense with his lightning-fast hands combined with the devastating punching power that gave him the edge necessary to dominate most 50-50 exchanges. In moments like these, De La Hoya never gave the fans an opportunity to judge or question his willingness to put everything on the line to secure victory. And when Oscar had you hurt, he raised the intensity of his combinations until either his opponent broke or the referee felt compelled to stop the fight to prevent further onslaught.
Big shots here by De La Hoya. One or two more, and this would be it. Big shots, and that is it.
A modern-day throwback fighter.